Sandy Cavalier here. I'm going to go over some of the things that we've practiced about feet and some basic poses. So let's begin. If you have blocks, have 2 blocks available, maybe 4. I'm going to show you how you would use extra blocks and a blanket for today's practice. So bring the feet together, sitting up on any props you need to help you come to a comfortable position. And let's start by taking a look at the feet and notice your arches. We all have some of an arch, some are more prominent than others. And peel the toes back, press the balls of the feet together and see how this exaggerates the arch and helps the foot come into action to create the arch. And feel the foot, feel all the muscles that are involved here to help you support the foot with a strong arch by lifting the toes away. And then press your toes together and notice that the arch remains. It's a little bit of a different shape, but you still have the arch prominent, the heel's pressing, the big toe mound is pressing, and the big toes are pressing, and all the other toes. Now keep the big toe pressing and see if you can keep the little toe pressing by pushing against them and move the middle 3 toes away from each other. So now you might feel muscles in your lower leg working to help you create this shape and action. And this is the way you would like to work with your feet in a yoga practice. So exercising all the muscles, lifting the arches of the feet, pressing the big toe as though you're pressing a button underneath it, and the little toe freeing up the middle toes. If your feet are not cooperating and doing absolutely none of this, it's just a matter of practice. So stay with it. Feel all the muscles that are working on the foot to make this happen. You can go ahead and wiggle your toes. And then we'll give a little massage. So working the thumbs on the inner arches, all the way to the ball of the foot, feeling the definition of the big toe mound, the ball of the foot, right across to the little toe side of the foot, feeling that there is a bone underneath the little toe called the little toe ball. Take a look at the foot and you'll notice that there's an arch from the big toe mound to the little toe mound, and by lifting those middle 3 toes and pressing the others down, the big toe, little toe, you'll start to make that arch a little more prominent. And then work on the flesh of the foot all the way to the heel on both feet, giving yourself a massage. And then we'll do some toga by putting your fingers in between the toes, making some space between them. This might feel a little bit uncomfortable, and if it does, just back off. And then bending the toes in and stretching the toes back. And then to stretch the outer foot, the outer ankle, go ahead and turn the foot up toward the ceiling. And then do the opposite, turn the foot down toward the floor. You might feel a big stretch, you might feel very little. And this one, I always feel a big stretch when I turn the sole of the foot up. So it feels really good on the outer ankle and the little toe side of the foot, and then pressing it down. And then bring your fingertips behind you and lift your chest up. Stretch your legs out in front and just release them a little bit. And then go ahead and point the toes forward, and you'll feel a stretch along the top of the foot and the front of the shin. And then press the heel forward and pull the toes back, and you'll feel a stretch in the calf and the Achilles. Go ahead again and point, stretching, but also notice when you point, the calves, the back of the lower leg engages. And then go the other way, pressing the heels away, and yes, the calf and the Achilles is stretching and the top of the lower leg is working. So in a yoga practice, go ahead, point and flex a few times. You want the legs to be active and the feet to be active. It's a nice opportunity to take the feet out of their box called shoes, where we park them under our desk garage. Go ahead and circle the foot and change the direction. Nice. I want to show you what's called a floint. When you point the foot, it's a point. When you draw the foot back, it's a flex. And a floint combines both. When you point, you're using mostly the calf, the back of the lower leg. When you flex, you're using more of the front of the lower leg. And when we floint, we get to use both the front and the back of the leg. So point the toes, extend the ankle, and then just pull the toes back. So the toes are in a floint and the ankle is in a point, and then press the big toe forward like you're trying to press a button. Great. So those are floint, feet, and legs. Now lift the knees just a smidge so you're unlocking them, and engage your thigh muscles strongly. You'll feel the kneecap settle into place. So you couldn't move the kneecap. If you release the thigh, the kneecap can wobble. So engage the thighs, lift the kneecaps, lift your chest, floint your foot, pull the toes back, but then press the big toe forward. There you go. Those legs are fully engaged and working hard. And then release. Go ahead, bounce it out. So when I say floint in class, you'll know point and pull the toes back and press the big toe forward. Let's come on to hands and knees. And if you like a blanket under your knees, go ahead and put one there. And coming on to all fours, your knees are under your hips, your hands are under your shoulders. Go ahead, come to a flat back, pull the outer shoulders towards your hips, lift the belly, lift the ribs, and press the tops of the feet down. If you get a foot cramp, just go to the balls of the foot and then see if you can come back to this. So you're stretching the tops of the feet by pressing the shoelace part of your foot down. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, come to the balls of the feet, stretch the toes and the sole of the foot, and round your upper back, press the floor away. And we'll go back and forth through these. Inhale, pull the chest forward, shoulder blades on your back, spread the toes, press the toenails into the floor, and then round your back and stand on the balls of the feet, drop the head, stretch your back. Inhale, find a little lift in the chest behind the heart. And exhale, flip the feet, round your back, draw the belly up and let your head drop. Let's take a few more. Inhale, lift the chest, roll the outer shoulders towards your hips. And exhale, round, draw your chest towards your thighs, drop the head. Take one more. Inhale and exhale. And then press back to child's pose. So take your knees wide and shift your hips back towards your heels. You can put the tops of your feet on the floor, or you can be on the balls of the feet. You can keep your hips up as high as you like if this bothers your knees. Choices with your arms, you can reach forward for a shoulder stretch. You could stack your hands and rest your forehead. You could put your forehead on a block, or rest the forehead on the floor and drape the arms back. And then when you're ready, let's come up and stand at the top of the mat. Roll your blanket, or a towel will work. We're going to come to this in a second. I want to work the calves and the feet by coming up onto the balls of the feet and then lowering the heels. Keep the ball of the foot down, lift and spread the toes. If you need some assistance from a wall, just go to a wall and touch down. So as you inhale, come up high onto the balls of the feet, and as you exhale, lower the heels, lift and spread the toes, but keep the balls of the feet down. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, lower down. Lift and spread, balls of the feet press. Two more. Inhale, coming up, and exhale, lowering down. Take one more. Inhale and exhale. Okay, now we'll stretch the calves that we just worked. So stand on the blanket or towel that's rolled up, put your heels on the floor, put the balls of the feet on the blanket and feel the calf stretch. If you'd like a little bit more, bend your knees, but bring them straight forward so that the direction of the knees follows your second toe. Take a breath in and a breath out. And go ahead, come off the blanket. You can set the blanket to the side. And take your 2 blocks, bring them to the tallest height, about a full hand's width in front of your feet, hips width in distance. Lift and spread the toes. Press the balls of the feet down. See if you can press the big toe down and the little toe down so you feel balanced across the front of the foot. The inner heel and the outer heel are both pressing. Take a little more weight toward the balls of the feet so that the heels feel just a little bit light. We'll do some half sun salutations. Inhale, reach the arms up. Bend your knees, sit back like chair pose, touch the blocks, drop your head, and then stretch out your legs any amount you like. Halfway position, pull the chest forward, flat back, draw the shoulder blades to each other, and then as you exhale, forward bend, chest toward thighs, drop the head. Coming up, bend the knees, sitting back, draw the shoulder blades together, press your legs, reach up, and exhale, arms down. Mind your feet, keep them active. Inhale, reach up. Bend the knees, exhale, forward bend, touch down, drop the head, stretch your legs. Pull the chest forward, inhale, and exhale, forward bend again. Bend the knees to come up. Inhale, reach all the way up, shoulder blades on your back, and arms down. We're going to add on to this with a runner's lunge. Inhale, reach up. Bend your knees. Exhale, forward bend. Drop the head, stretch out your legs. Come to flat back position, breathe in, and step your right foot way back behind you onto the ball of the foot. Bring your blocks back so they're under your shoulders. Release the front toes. Press the big toe down, maybe the little toe down. Lift the middle 3, that's your work. Pressing the front heel. And then press your back foot. It's in a floint, right? So press the floint like you're trying to send yourself forward. And press your front heel to send yourself back. Land right in the middle of those 2 actions to work the legs. Take your shoulders away from your ears. Draw the shoulder blades together on your back. Keep the back of the neck long. Breathe in and out. Now we'll stretch out the front leg. So begin to straighten the leg. Take the blocks back so they remain under your shoulders and draw your back heel toward the floor for a calf stretch. So the front big toe mound is pressing, the big toe is pressing, the toes are reaching forward, the arches are lifting. Again, try and keep your shoulder blades on your back with the back of your neck long. And now lift the ball of the front foot so the toes are pointing up. You'll really be able to reach your back heel further and feel the stretch in the calf and the Achilles of the front foot. Take one more cycle of breath. And then bend the front knee. Bring the blocks forward. Step all the way forward. Empty out the breath and fold. Bend your knees, sit back, flat back. Press your legs, reach up. Exhale, arms down. Activate your feet. Inhale, reach up. Side B, exhale, forward bend. Flat back, inhale. Your left foot, step it way back. Runner's pose. Bring the blocks back under your shoulders. Lift your chest up. Lift your toes up. Press the big toe down. So feel the active foot, feel the arch lift as you press off the back foot to send you forward. Press the front heel to send you back. So find that middle ground where you're working both legs. We would call this stretching the mat. So the front heel is trying to move forward, the back foot is trying to move back as though you're stretching the mat. Take another breath here, strong legs. And then we'll stretch it out. So start to straighten out the front leg. Bring the blocks back so they're under your shoulders and start to reach the back heel to the floor. So the front foot, you're stretching the shin and the top of the foot, and the back foot, you're stretching the calf and the Achilles. Big toe presses like it's stepping on a button. Shoulder blades on the back, and the back of the neck is long. Now lift the ball of the front foot to stretch the calf and the Achilles as you continue to reach the back heel to the floor. Take another cycle of breath. And then press the front foot into the floor, runner's pose. Blocks come forward. Press off the back foot, step forward, and forward bend. Bend your knees, flat back, reach up, and arms down. Nicely done. Notice how you feel. Notice how your legs feel, the lower leg in particular. And now we'll take warrior one. You can move your blocks and step your right foot back like a runner's pose, but turn the heel down. So in warrior one, the foot position is feet in separate lanes. The back heel is down and the toes point mostly to the upper right corner of your mat. You're going to firm the legs, lift and spread the toes. Press the big toe down, little toe down, maybe lift the middle three so the foot is very active and it feels like it's lifting away from the floor. Your back foot, I want you to see if you can lift the big toe so that you're wedging the outer edge of the back foot into the mat. It's going to help ground you and lift out of the arch. So often I see a warrior one like this, where you're collapsing into the arch. So lift the back arch, stretch the mat between the feet, and turn your chest to the front of your mat. Go ahead and add the arms. So the real purpose we're going for here in warrior one today is to stretch the back calf and Achilles. But if you lift your hip points, you'll also get a stretch in the front of your back leg, the hip flexors. Draw the arm bones in their sockets and create some imaginary resistance between your arms to see if you can work your chest muscles a little more. Bring your hands to your hips, lean out, come to the ball of the back foot, push off the ball to step forward, and then we'll change sides. So go ahead and take your left leg way back in space and turn the heel down. And check to see, are your feet in separate lanes? Is your back foot pointing mostly to the upper left corner of your mat? Bend the front knee, knee over ankle, knee pointing towards your second toe. And then see if you can lift the back arch, lift the back big toe. So you're really grounding into the mat with the outer edge of the foot. Okay, nicely done. Turn your chest to the front. Keep the front foot active. The arch is lifting. If you lift your hip points a little bit, you'll get a little more stretch in the hip flexors, and then add the arms. Hug the arm bones into their sockets, and again, create some imaginary resistance, like you're pressing your hands against something. Take another cycle of breath here. And then hands to your hips, come to the ball of the back foot, press off the foot to step forward, and release. Let's do a warrior two and a triangle. Step your feet wide, 2 or 3 feet wide will do. And from the hip socket, turn your whole right leg straight forward. So regarding alignment here, you can either have heel to arch or a little wider, heel to heel. Okay, whatever serves you best for your hips and your knees. You're going to bend your front knee. Make sure it's not passing the ankle. That's too much strain for the knee. So stack the knee right over the ankle and make sure the knee is pointing over the second toe. That's true for your knees whether you're on your mat or out in the real world. If your knee is collapsing in, that's dangerous for the knee. And if your hips feel too tight to be able to fix this anyway, take your back hip forward and it'll adjust your front knee. Turn your chest to the long side of your mat and add your arms out. Turn your palms up to release your shoulders down your back. And then from elbow to wrist, turn your palms down. Lift and spread your toes. Press the big toe down, the little toe down. See if you can lift the middle three. Feel the arches lift up. See if you can even begin to feel the energy of the inner thighs lifting up, following the effort of the inner arch lifting up. Maybe you feel the pelvic floor lift, the low belly. Pretty soon you're just going to elevate right off the mat. Take one more breath, stretching the mat with your feet. And then hands on hips, straighten the front leg, turn the leg forward, and we'll do warrior two on the other side. So from the hip crease, walk the leg out, and again, heel to heel or heel to arch alignment. Heel to arch is a little narrower, and heel to heel is a little more generous if your hips feel very tight. So pick what works best for you. Bend the front knee, make sure it's stacking over the ankle and not passing the ankle, and the trajectory is over your second toe. Once you have that established, lift and spread the toes, press the big toe down, press the little toe down, see if you can lift the other three. Feel that effort, lift the arches of the feet. Turn the chest to the long side of the mat, add the arms. Turn the palms up to release the shoulders down. And then from elbow to wrist, turn the palms down. Good. Stretching the mat with your feet, lifting the arches. Feel that effort, maybe travel up the inseam of the pant. Lifting the pelvic floor, lifting the low belly. And hands to hips. Turn your front leg in. And we'll go to triangle pose. So turn your right foot out. And heel to heel or heel to arch. Take the webbing of your thumb and index finger to your front hip crease. Start to lift the hip crease up. Unlock the front knee, so there is a tendency here to push back. See if you can just bend the knee a tiny bit. Lift the hip crease. Take your other hand to your low back and press the tailbone toward the back heel. Draw the belly back. And then take your left hand to your left side ribs and turn the ribs toward the ceiling. And add the arm. Your right hand can now drop wherever it lands on the outer leg, the back of your leg, and press against the leg to feel your core get involved. Let's take another breath. Make sure your front leg is not locked. And bend the knee. Press the heel to come up. Hands on hips. Triangle pose. Side B. Lift the hip crease up. Unlock the front knee. Take the tailbone towards your back heel. Draw the belly back. Take your hand to your side ribs and open the chest. Add the arm. The bottom arm drops down and presses against the outer leg to ignite the core. Feet are active, arches are lifting. And bend the front knee, press the heel to come up. Straighten the leg, turn the feet forward. And then go into a forward bend. Bend your knees, touch down. You're welcome to put a block underneath your hands. Lift your spine, draw your shoulder blades together, and then start to fold in, drop the head, and straighten out the legs. Since we're working on feet today, make the effort be to lift the little toe side of the foot, but not off the floor. Just the effort of lifting it. Do keep it down, but you'll start to feel your outer foot, your outer ankle, and the outer lower leg engage. See if you can now press your heels isometrically away from each other. You'll feel the inner thighs draw back. And then bring your fingertips to the floor, bend your knees. Bring your hands to your thighs, come up just halfway to change the flow of blood to the head. And then up you go. Heel toe a little closer. Let's do push wall. Push wall is a pose that gets you ready for downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is a upside down letter V, and at the wall it's a letter L. So you're going to touch the wall and walk back until your feet feel like they're right under your hips. So you don't want to be so far back or so far forward. See what you can do to get your feet under your hips. You can take your feet as wide as needed so that you feel comfort and ease in your legs. Draw the belly up, draw the ribs up. You're pressing into the wall and you're isometrically trying to turn your hands away from each other. They're not moving, but that's the effort. That'll help the outer shoulder roll down. Keep your head in line with your arms and press your heels away from each other to feel the inner thighs draw back. Lift the pit of the belly, lift the toes, press the big toe down, little toe down, feel the arches lift. Lift from under the arms so you're not hanging down. Generous breaths. And then bend the knees, walk forward to come out. And we'll take a forward bend sitting on the wall. So take your feet about 12 inches from the wall. Bend your knees, sit on the wall. My feet are 2 feet apart, I'd say. And then fingertips on the wall, lift your sit bones up. Place your hands somewhere. You can use blocks or just place them on your legs. And drop the head, take a forward bend. So this is an inversion. You're changing the flow of blood. You're upside down. You're stretching your legs. It's a great release for the low back, considering you're not bending from the waist, you're bending from the hips. And then bring your hands to your thighs, bend your knees, come up halfway. And then touch the wall and come off the wall. Let's try downward dog. So if you need a little elevation for your downward dog, use 2 blocks underneath your hands. I put them about the width of the mat, touch the blocks and walk back. Take your feet as wide as you need so that your heels are on the floor. If you don't straighten your legs in down dog, if you're always with your knees bent, your legs will never open. So make this your 2017 down dog with your legs straight and take them as wide as you need so that you can straighten your legs. If your hands are on blocks, keep the thumb off the block. And again, you're like screwing your hands in. You're trying to turn them isometrically away from each other to bring the elbows in and keep the shoulders wide. Draw the pit of the belly up. You're drawing your head towards your thumbs. Lean your weight into your hands. As you press your hands and try and stretch the mat forward, press the tops of the thighs up and back. Press your heels away from one another. Notice the feet. Are you able to lift and spread the toes and lift the arches? This is a great pose to stretch your legs and stretch your shoulders. You're stretching your lats. You're strengthening your shoulders. And it's an inversion. Your head is below your heart. And then come to child's pose. And we'll do 1 back bend and then 2 more stretches. The back bend is going to be to strengthen your upper back muscles right between the shoulder blades. So you're going to take your elbows out like goalposts and rest your forehead. Keep your chin tucked, and you're going to lift your chest, your head, and your arms without cranking your neck up. We do a lot of this with our chin, lifting the chin. So yoga is a nice opportunity to lengthen the neck and reach through the top of the head. So as you inhale, lift the chest, lift the head, but look forward and down, lift the arms, and exhale, lower. Let's take 5 more. Inhale, lift up, feel the shoulder blades work toward each other, and lower. Inhale, so the effort is right behind the heart, working your back muscles, and lower. 2 more. Inhale, exhale. 1 more. And press back to child's pose to release. Big toes come together. Go down only as low as your knees allow. You can stretch the arms forward or bring the arms back. You could bring your hands underneath your forehead. Waggle the hips a little side to side. And then press up, and we'll do pinwheel followed by Z pose. So pinwheel, you're going to sit completely on your left thigh and bring your front leg so that there's a right angle from ankle to knee to hip. And your back leg, you see how it's coming in the foot? I want to have a right angle there too. Knee, ankle, foot, hip. So you are the shape of a pinwheel. Start to walk your hands over to the left. And you can take your right hand, hold on to the left arm, and find a twist. So there are lots of variations you can play with in this pose. For example, taking your right arm forward and your left arm back a little bit, find a lovely stretch along your rib cage, your kidney area. Or taking your left hand forward a little bit, bend the elbow, and open up the chest. Feel a stretch along the chest, the front of the shoulders, maybe even the left shoulder. And then come back up, and you're all set for Z pose. All you need to do here is walk your right knee back a little bit, just an inch or two. Frame your front leg, pull the chest forward, and maybe, if it feels appropriate, you start to lower down on blocks. If it doesn't feel right to you here, you might go a little further out to the side. If you want more, and this felt fine, maybe you bring your forearms to the floor. And the next step to deepen the pose, if that's the direction you're going in, is to walk your right leg back in space. You can have the ball of the foot curled under, or you can have the top of the foot on the floor, but your left thigh is firmly planted. Let's take one more cycle of breath here. And then lift up and switch sides. Pinwheel on the right. So your left knee is in line with the hip, the ankle, the foot, the hip, the knee, the ankle, the foot. Turning away from the front leg, you're going to reach over. And now it's your left hand that's going to hold the right. Finding a twist. Or maybe that stretch, take the right hand back and reach the left arm, laying down low to the ground. Find that stretch along the outer side of your body, all the way through the kidney area. Or maybe just even opening up. You can put your right elbow down, you can keep the elbow up. So move intuitively, find something that I really couldn't lead you to, a stretch that's satisfying. And then we'll take Z pose on this side. So framing the front leg, leaning out, inch the knee back just a smidge. For starters, taking your forearms on blocks. Maybe the forearms go out to the side if that feels better. Or maybe the forearms are on the floor. Each side will feel very different in this pose. Maybe you inch the left leg back. You can stand on the ball of that foot, or you can reach the toes back. So there's no particular place you need to be in this pose. Just find a satisfying stretch. And you'll know if you're in too deep because you'll be holding your breath and gritting your teeth. So stay in a place that you can breathe smoothly and enjoy a stretch. And when that's complete, take your back leg around the front. Find a comfortable place for you to enjoy a few minutes of rest, Shavasana. Lift your chest up and then lay it down with the chest feeling broad and spacious. Let your legs flop out to the sides. Let your arms come to a comfortable place. Take one more deep breath in here. And then let the air go. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like, taking a deep breath to incorporate all the calm that you have created in your body. Deep rest.